Into our WACA Activities Coordinators Hall of Fame this evening. We are very excited for the three that have been chosen by our board. The qualifications to meet the Hall of Fame, these individuals have served over 20 years in student activities in some way, shape, or form, which by itself is a remarkable feat. But in addition to that, they have been involved in either, I got a soundtrack? This is beautiful. I gotta take it in for a moment. But they have been involved, unexpected. We roll with it. You guys know how this works. So,
Jen's got it.
She's hauling. That's impressive. These individuals have committed a ton of time to students, to making our state better. They've been involved in a number of different state programs and just overall have impacted Washington state leadership in a profound way. And so our first nominee, or our first inductee this evening, if you look over to the screen, is Miss Pam Schwenn. To introduce Pam and read a little bit about the work that she has done and the impact on his life, please welcome Eric Stanczyk.
All right. Excuse me. I feel incredibly lucky tonight to have the opportunity to nominate and introduce Pam Schwenn for the WACA Hall of Fame. Since finding out of her selection, she's insisted to me and everyone that's congratulated her that she isn't deserving of this recognition, which I think is probably representative of one of the reasons why she is. Unfortunately, Pam and her family couldn't be here tonight, and I was really bummed when she emailed me and told me they couldn't make it, not only because I'd already developed a whole collection of jokes to tell at her husband's expense, but mainly I was disappointed because I would miss out on the opportunity to force her to accept the adulation and celebration that her years of dedication to student leadership so richly deserve. Pam's been involved in student leadership in Washington for over 25 years. She spent 17 years as the cheer coach at Kamiak High School, started the Link Crew program there in 2002, and continues to serve as the National Honor Society advisor. Her influence, however, reaches beyond Kamiak to the whole state of Washington. Over the years, Pam has served on 31 different AWSL summer camp staffs. She was on the inaugural staff of the Cascade Mid-Level Camp, where she served from 1993 to 99. She was one of 6 people asked to open the Chewelah Peak High School camp in 2004 and served on the Mount Olympus camp staff from 1995 until this last summer, spending the last 13 of those years as co-director with her husband Clay. I looked back at some camp enrollment data, which went back quite a ways, although not quite as far as Pam, and after doing a little math, I would estimate that over 25 years she worked on camp staff that served over 7,000 Washington high school and middle school students. I'm extremely blessed to say that I was one of those 7,000. In the summer of 2002, I was picked for the Mount Olympus JC staff, and I have a vivid memory of our JC training and Pam's neighbors driving by with confused looks on their faces as Pam led our JC staff of 20 college kids through a game of chicken baseball in the street in front of her house. Little did I know at the time that this would be the start of a lifelong relationship with one of my dearest friends, mentors, and role models. When Pam and Clay took over as directors, they asked me to return to camp as an SC, and over the years they built a camp staff at Mount Olympus that felt like family, and they cared for us all as such. I often find myself in this job questioning my own beliefs and opinions. I wonder if that thing that I'm thinking is right, or if I'm missing the boat, or if I need to think of something in a different way. And what I've discovered is that over the years, if I bring something to Pam, and she thinks the same as me, then that's enough to tell me I'm right, or at the very least, wrong and in the best of company. My wife, who also JC'd for the Schwenns, and I talk all the time about how we really just want to try and be like Pam and Clay. They're our role models as a couple, as parents, and as people, and I know that we're just 2 of the many people who feel that way. Despite her protests, I can't think of anyone more deserving for this recognition as a leader, a teacher, a mentor, and a friend than Pam Schwenn. Like I said, the Schwenns couldn't be here tonight. Their girls had an orchestra concert that could not be missed, but she did said something to share with everybody. I feel very uncomfortable and I'll admit unworthy of being recognized in a group full of individuals who have been professional and personal mentors to me for almost 30 years. I'm an English teacher, and while I'm confident I'm teaching essential skills that kids need to be successful in today's world, like how to analyze a 17th century poem, for example. The work that I feel best about is what I've done through leadership and activities. Those are the life skills, attitudes, and practices that we desperately need to foster in students, not just for their own benefit, but for the positive change they can bring to our communities and world. I've also enjoyed that leadership and activities aren't solitary endeavors. They require teamwork, and I'm so fortunate to have served on many great teams with lots of you in attendance tonight. Anything I've helped kids accomplish over the years is directly because of the amazing people I've learned from and served with. Whether camp staffs, staff members at school, or the WACA board, nobody can do this hard work alone. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there tonight for this great honor, but thank you so much, and thank you for all you do for kids.
Our next inductee to the WACA Hall of Fame is Dr. Gay Selby. She is going to be introduced tonight by Mr. Marty Fortin.
Susan's wonderful speeches about the Advisor of the Year pays homage to those that are early in their career and that have done wonderful things in their school. The Hall of Fame are for those that have, over the course of their career, continued to contribute to student activity programs and student engagement. I have the honor of inducting Gay, and I have to tell you, in my research, she started out as a classroom teacher and ASB advisor, activity coordinator, administrator, superintendent, and then college professor. I didn't meet her till she was a college professor, when all of a sudden I started getting emails from her students in administrative classes who needed to do ASB presentations, and she gave them my email. As I contemplated who was an ideal person to nominate, I started asking questions, and my friend Sandy Stonebreaker said, "Oh, Gay used to be on leadership camp staff too." And so I looked more into those qualifications. I got a hold of Gay and said, "Were you involved in WACA also?" She said, "Oh yeah, I was there early on, maybe from the beginning." So I knew she was an ideal candidate to nominate. So I wrote to her, and she said, "Oh, well, my materials are buried somewhere, and I'm going to Europe for the summer. I'll get you something in the fall." So I waited till the fall, and I waited for her first Facebook posting, and I wrote to her again. I said, "Gay, it's time. Tell us what you have." So I was proud to nominate someone who's been there from the beginning and who's taken the level of student activities to the collegiate level. And with that, I'm just honored and proud to induct Dr. Gay Selby in the WACA Hall of Fame.
Wow, has this group changed since the beginning? I think you could have put most of us around one or two tables when those of us that were involved in student activities way back when began to think about forming some kind of an organization. It makes me really proud and pleased to look out there and see so many of you that are working hard for our kids and our schools and their success. As Marty said, my career has taken me through most of the steps of public education and on into higher ed. And I have particularly all along been an advocate for equity, an advocate for student engagement, student involvement. I remember once I was involved in a district with a levy loss, and kind of surprised everyone when I said, "We're not cutting field trips. We might cut a lot of other things, but we're not cutting field trips. Our kids need field trips. They need to learn about the world. They need to be involved. They need to be engaged." It is true, when Marty contacted me, I was about to leave to go to Europe, and I was completely surprised when he called or contacted me, and I thought, wow, this takes me back many, 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 many years. I know that somewhere I have some kind of a document in a frame that talks about Washington Activities Coordinators Association. I have to tell you, I don't know where that box is, probably somewhere in my house. I never could find it, and to be truthful, I'd kind of forgotten all about it until I had a contact from him later saying that I've been selected for this honor. I can't begin to tell you how pleased I am with the work you do. I've been an advocate for your work, for the Principals Association, with WACA, all of our state organizations, and you really do great work, and I'm very proud to have been part of this organization and part of the education in this state for a long time. Thank you.
One more time, can we please give a round of applause for Dr. Gay Selby? Our third and final inductee into the 2019 class, WACA Hall of Fame, is Ms. Meri Benedict. To induct Meri, we'd like to welcome up Brandon Wenzel and Jana Thomas.
It is a great honor to be speaking about one of today's inductees to the WACA Hall of Fame, Meri Benedict. Meri has been an Auburn School District teacher for 39 years and involved in activities as a leadership teacher, Link Crew advisor, and activity director for the past 30 years. She has impacted thousands of staff, students, and parents over her distinguished career. Meri's love of leadership began as a student delegate at Mount Adams. She then moved on to become a JC, then an SC, and finally the assistant director for decades. Currently, she is a co-director of the Western Leaders Summit, which she helped launch in 2011. Sandy Ginger, the co-director of Western Leaders with Meri, sent the following words. Meri Benedict lives with a heart of service, always striving to help others reach their greatest potential. She's a lifelong learner, always seeking new and better ways to teach and serve. Her warm and loving nature creates an environment where all feel welcome and valued. If you've had the privilege of working with Meri, you've been inspired by her insight and joyous spirit. Beth Cockcraft, who works with Meri at Auburn High, said, Meri is the person that truly taught me to love all. Meri loves everyone she meets. She makes every person she comes in contact with feel as if they're the most important person in that moment. I have never spent time with someone so committed to the well-being of everyone, students, staff, parents, and even strangers. Meri is the teacher, mentor, friend, mom I hope I can be someday.
I'm Brandon Wenzel, and I'm an ASB advisor at Sumner High School, and I can say with all honesty that I wouldn't be here today without Meri. When I was a high school student, I entered student leadership because I thought that I wanted to be cool. And this isn't about me, but in that moment, it was all about me. And I think a lot of our students are there. And over the course of the next 4 years, through the mentorship and the investment in our relationship, Meri changed my perspective. And it changed everything for me. And she's a lady who first introduced me to servant leadership in a place that I could tell was magical to her, CISPIS. She went from somebody who I looked up to greatly as a mentor and teacher to a friend and to a colleague. The choice in the course of my life was deeply impacted by the choices that she made to invest in me. I think I would have potentially been a leader one way or another, but I know that the way in which I led changed because of her. One of the powerful things that I think, though, is that I was kind of a leadership kid, but my older sister wasn't. My older sister is somebody who would have been easily missed, but had incredible potential. And Meri saw that too. She invited her to be a delegate at Mount Adams Leadership Camp. And that's pretty special. All three of my siblings, or all three of us kids, became teachers, and I wonder if it's because of Meri. I think that she had certainly something to do with it. She's a special lady, and this is a moment that makes her uncomfortable like it would anyone, but she is incredibly deserving. It's with great honor that I'm here to be able to say that you're a special lady, and this moment's for you. You've earned it.
You got a chair still.
I'm gonna take it. We have just a little more we're going to end with, and then we'll have Meri talk. This person we're honoring today is a dictionary definition of kind. It is how she is to everyone. On a personal note, during 8 months of chemotherapy, surgery, and 6 weeks of radiation, Meri sent me a positive quote or word of support every single day for a year and a half. I'm not the only person who's received this kind of support from Meri. She is a true friend to many. Meri has the beautiful ability and insight to lead from the front if need be, but serve from the side, supporting and encouraging others to serve and lead. Robert Greenleaf says, "The great leader is seen as servant first." He could have been talking about Meri.
Hi. Hi. I know in all my heart that all of us are deserving of this award. I just have a little more longevity than some of you. So I accept this award for all of us because I believe every one of us in this room is making the world a better place for kids. Susan Fortin, we thank you for your decades of brilliant, where are you, Susan? I lost you. Hi. Decades of brilliant, compassionate leadership. If we think about the ripple effect and consider the number of lives you have influenced, the number is staggering. Personally, I thank you for how deeply you've touched me in my life, the friendship, the guidance, and too many life-changing leadership opportunities to count. My life has been rich because of your impact. Thank you. Marty Fortin, you've been a friend and a sage. You provided me with the opportunity to be on your amazing staff, and they are still my friends, and to be the first director of ORF. For you guys that don't know that, that's the backpacking camp. You can get a PE credit for the amazing sport of backpacking. And more importantly, you have kept me out of jail with your outstanding ASB law guidance. I am so grateful. The WACA board, this conference is amazing. It's really personal, it's genuine, it's relational, and the content is absolutely exceptional. Thank you for the annual boost and the growth that you provide for us all. You make kids and us better with your work. My children, their partners, and my grandchildren are my world. It is absolutely incredible to have your children become your students and your officers and become your adult friends. To watch your kids transform lives in your building and at camp. My daughter Brooke, who is here and always by my side, has been a JC and an SC at Western Leaders Summit, and now is working professionally to teach and spread empathy in the world. I am so humbled. My sons Michael and Brian were not able to be here and also work daily to make the world a better place and support me unconditionally and are always in my heart. My people, my colleagues and friends at school camp friends, WACA friends, thank you for the absolute joy and help and wisdom that you've provided along the way. Now, to give you an idea of how I came to be in this amazing place, at the end of my junior year, Bob Homchick, the newly elected ASB president at Wenatchee High School, said to me, "Hey, you should run for Senior Records and Evaluations Commissioner." And since it was unopposed, and since I didn't have to give a speech, because I was just as miserable with it then as I am now, I did it. And I was sent to this leadership camp, which you just heard about. in the summer of 1974, and it changed the trajectory of my life. I fell in love with leadership, the positivity, the beauty of empowering kids to achieve their dreams and goals by creating a school of love for their peers. I marveled at the wisdom and character of the staff in this magical leadership world. My mentors, Dwayne McGee, Don Rash, Dorothy Ferguson, Ken and Linda Crawford, Sally Barnum, and my dear friends Karen Skoog and Bob Jones have formed who I am as a person. I met Karen at leadership camp as delegates in 1974. I know we all share similar stories. How lucky are we? Urge kids to run for office because it changes lives. Our work is more critical now than ever. Research is showing that what we in schools already know. Kids are showing up less for school events. They spend 4 to 8 hours on screens after school. They are isolated. They have skyrocketing amounts of depression and anxiety. Kids are literally changing their brains due to this unanticipated cultural shift. Brené Brown says that we're neurobiologically wired for connection. Yet, kids are meeting each other in person so much less than any other time in modern history. And when we are disconnected, illness enters our lives. And so this is where we come in. We provide activities that bring kids together. We allow kids to laugh and talk and create real nurturing relationships. Our role as activity coordinators, and that whole beautiful list that Susan said that was way more complete than my list. All of us in this room, we teach kids to belong rather than to fit in. Brené Brown again, and if you don't know Brené Brown, please put her on your list. Fitting in is assessing the social dynamics and altering who you are so that you can be accepted. Belonging is being accepted for who you authentically are. When we create schools of love, schools filled with meaningful activities and messages of acceptance, we allow kids to belong, laugh together, and have real experiences that enhance their lives. Interacting in person is linked to good mental health. Keep creating activities to keep kids and to help kids belong and connect. Our kids need our help now. Keep creating offline experiences because life is better offline. I've had hard times, and when we have life challenges, we soul search, at least I do. I've soul searched for the meaning of my life, and what I've learned is that I have absolutely no idea why I exist. So, since I am clueless, I get to make up my own answer. And what I've decided is that I want to spend my life trying to make other lives better. And this is what activities do for kids. We are not the source of the light, but we reflect the light to the students who are in dark places. We shine the light to kids who have trouble seeing the light. We love kids unconditionally. Thank you for honoring me with this award, and I am honoring you. Together, we're a powerful source of light in this world. WACA, keep the light shining.
Hi, Greg. Fancy meeting you here as the incoming executive director of AWSL, on stage before honoring the years and years of work and contributions to student leadership by Marty and Susan Fortin.
Yeah, I know some would say it's a coincidence. I think it's an honor, especially as people start calling me, oh, the new Susan, or mini Marty.
Yes, they do. And, you know, you've got some big shoes to fill. Size 17, triple wide, I'd say. Metaphorically, of course.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm worried so much about taking the lead of ASB Finance and helping people stay out of jail. The 12,000 kids we serve the year, the 100 programs we serve, the 400 volunteers who do the work that we do, our summer programs, that doesn't worry me quite as much as how I'm ever going to fill the shoes of gourmet dinners that Susan is known for, and all the treasures that Marty always has when you visit their house. I don't know how that's going to happen.
I see what you're doing, Greg. This is a seamless transition to the introduction to a really fun That's Me game.
So, you got it, James. We're going to start with, if you've ever had a gourmet meal fixed by Susan Fortin, please stand and say, "That's me." That's me. He's got the next one.
Oh, here we go. You know, Greg,
Yes,
I've been one
James.
of the lucky ones to have experienced a meal at Marty and Susan's house. Oh, you just read that. Never mind. We're going.
He has been there. Oh, and keep standing if that's you.
Totally spontaneous. I've had some great meals with Marty and Susan. And then normally we just sit by the fire in their backyard for a while. And then Marty pulls out his Irish whiskey and shares it around. In fact, I think my daughter learned to drink Irish whiskey with him. She's 21. So if you've never had that experience of sharing a wonderful glass of wine, a microbrew, or just a little shot of whiskey or scotch with Marty, please stand up and say, "That's me."
You know, Marty and Susan sometimes leave their house and they do things like Marty has taught, probably 5 or 6 ASB law sessions in his life, and Susan has taught some student leadership teacher advisors. If you've ever attended a workshop by Marty or Susan, please stand up and say, "That's me." That's me.
How about this? I've not only attended an ASB workshop taught by Marty, I've been told in response to one of my questions, Karen from Kashmir, what you're doing is called fraud. How many people out there has Marty kept out of jail? Stand up and say, "That's me."
That is not me, but I am a former student, along with Stephanie, of Mr. Fortin. Is anyone here a student of Marty or Susan? That's me. All right, there we go.
Oh, we've got a few.
I'm not a student of Marty's, but I'm sure I'm the only person in the room who's older than Marty.
I think you're right, Norm. Nobody stood.
On contraire, Lord. Let me establish that I'm about 10 years older than Norm. I met Marty and Susan in 1981 when I hired first Marty to be on the staff of Navigator. And he came along, but when I first saw him, I did overall and whatever. Those were the days when we came up and slept on the floor and White Pass High School and so forth. And then this young person, this female young person who came along as an intern. As it turned out, she had nothing else better to do that summer than to take the class that they got 2 credits, and she probably needed the credits in law. And I'm surprised she stayed with it because I was directing and I think she arrived and I said, "I've got to go do these things, you take care of this council." And like I say, I'm surprised she stuck with it. And as I say, it's somewhere along the line, were it not, I guess, for me, there would not be a Marty and Susan. And since Joe said I could even go further, I will even tell the slight story. Because there's what is it called? What's the meteor shower? Okay. And we won't go into a lot of it. But kind of the staff decided that we should go out and take our sleeping bags out on the field there at Sisyphus. And a little later, it was like, well, they touch knees. So anyhow, that's my introduction to Marty and Susan.
Well, I'm not a student of Marty's and I'm not older than Marty's, but I have spent probably 20 birthdays with Susan at AWSL. So how many of you have spent AWSL and Susan's birthday.
Okay, I'm going to do an all stand, see if I can get us all up. I'm going to be doing some product. So things that didn't exist before 1991 when you came, 1991. But as I was listening to him on stage, there's probably so many processes that are in place now that they've kind of snuck in here, snuck in there, always looking at how do you get more people involved, how do you get kids involved, how do you make things fair. But these will just be some products that didn't exist. So the newest one on the block, Native American Leadership Camp, 13 people last year. So stand up if you're on staff, Native American Leadership Camp. Keep standing. And this is like a shameless commercial. And stand up if you plan to send kids to Native American Leadership Camp, urban Native American youth, tribal, or you would think about it. Stand up. There we go. Yeah, you're thinking about it. Thank you. And then remain standing. It's an all stand. I'm going to see if I can get everyone to stand up. That you've been touched by some of the pioneering work of Marty and Susan. Credit-bearing classes. That's kind of a new frontier. Meri mentioned we're now trying to get credit to kids, and it happens at some of the summer camps. There's a Dare to Dream program that serves migrant youth in the summer on campus in STEM courses and some social emotional. So if you've sent any of your kids, or you've been some of the people in the room that actually help run these credit-bearing things, stand up. See where else we got. Got a few more. Okay, boom. La Cima and La Chispa, the two programs that serve Latinx youth, didn't exist, and now they do, and they serve 2,000 middle-level kids a year and 150 high school kids. So stand up if you sent kids to La Chispa or La Cima. Okay, a few more. Beautiful. Deaf Teen Leadership, the small, tiny little 25, 30 number of kids at the camp. Anyone send their kids to Deaf Teen Leaders? Okay. Didn't get anyone standing there. Boom. There was a Disneyland, I'll use James' line, Sispus, and then Walt Disney World was created, Chewelah Peak. So if you sent any kids to Chewelah Peak, or you served on staff at Chewelah Peak, go ahead and stand up. Okay, a few more. Okay, here's the big one, though. Their first year up at Sispus, they got in a car and drove around the state to do middle-level regionals. There were no middle-level programs serving our kids in 1991. So stand up if any of you sent any of your kids to middle-level leadership camp, or teen retreat, or middle-level regionals. Okay, now here's my final one. I know they're kind of humble people. Probably embarrassed by now, but this will help. If you have no idea who these people are, Marty and Susan, please stand up. You just like, you're like, no idea. All right, well, that was close. I almost got you all standing.
Joe, I might add one.
Okay, you got a new one.
Do you know what CARS stands for? C-A-R-S. It doesn't exist in that order in the law. So if you know what CARS stands for, that's Marty.
Okay, and just for historical purposes, I am Susan's sister. So if you don't know who Susan is, I'm Ruth, I'm her sister. And I've been involved with Cascade Camp for the last 25 years. So if I became involved because Susan asked me to be involved to start this thing, okay? So, stand up if you have ever been asked at one time or another to be a part of something, or to lead something, or to start something, or to write something, or to do whatever something by Susan and Marty. Please stand up. Cool, thank you.
So, and I think it was quoted earlier, but the Dalai Lama has a quote attributed. Just as the ripples spread out when a single pebble is dropped into the water, the actions of individuals can have far-reaching effects. And I think that that is the legacy of the Fortins. Oh, wait, I have one more. If you're the recipient of full funding to attend this conference in honor of Marty and Susan, would you please stand and say that's me?
This year we wanted to honor the legacy that Marty and Susan Fortin have blessed us with. With a huge donation from Jostens, WACA was able to give a scholarship for a delegate to come to WACA absolutely free this year. WACA has paid for their registration, their hotel, and their sub costs through this scholarship. This year we have selected Brian Cockrum from Freeman High School to be the first recipient of the Marty and Susan Fortin Leadership Scholarship. Jostens has committed for years to come for us to be able to present this scholarship in Marty and Susan's name. It's important to us, and knowing what Marty and Susan believe in, that this person come from a rural school district and hasn't experienced yet the magic of WACA. Would you help me in thanking Marty and Susan Fortin for all they have done for student leadership in the state of Washington? Will they come up? I'd love to see you guys up here at the podium.
We were happy to stay down below. You're older, you want to go? No. What an honor.
Those of you that's your first year, you probably wonder how
Like, who are these old
people that get up there. Making up something to say on the way up the stairs is not very easy, but actually what I could say is what I said when I ran for president over 30 years ago. I believe in this organization, I believe in what you do for students, and I hope it lasts forever.
Okay. And as we were driving over, kind of reflecting on our many years of WACA, my memory of running for president and being so nervous, wanting to make sure that the person, because I was running against somebody, that I was worthy. When I won, I wanted to make sure that my year was really worthy because I had beat somebody and all that. So we were reflecting on the way over, and Marty said, "You realize this is my 40th conference?" And Lana Yenny it was his first year as an activity advisor, and Lana was a freshman in high school when he came over. And in '84, when I came the first time, so I guess this would be my 36th conference if we did the math right, I was just like this novice advisor who had had my leadership camp internship experience and came to this conference, and life was changed by the work that you all do and the work we did then and the work that you'll continue to do. And what an honor to be recognized by this group, and it's been a great ride, and it's so cool to know that this will go on. So cool. Okay.
My first conference way back in 1980, there were about 80 delegates and I think 4 women, and Jostens, and we're so honored to have Jostens have offered this scholarship. Jostens provided hard liquor at every table when we were there.
Yeah, the banquet was a lot
Times have
crazier.
changed. Well, thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for attending this evening's banquet. We are headed off to fun and games. We have all sorts of fun for tonight. We have inflatables. Woohoo! I'm not sure what kind of inflatables, but we have dancing. Whoa, what were you thinking? We have karaoke.